There seems to be a lot of confusion on the topic of job seeking, but do we really know enough to give a fair opinion?
Don't know anything about it, really.
Have you ever been claiming yourself?
I have been, yeah. I'm off it now, so it's all good.
I have indeed.
No, I haven't claimed, but I've heard that they are actually really helpful.
Yeah, very helpful. Yeah, very helpful.
I spoke with Rob Cooper. He's a senior manager at the Job Centre Plus. What services are available to job seekers?
The key service to people who become unemployed is access to a personal advisor who can look at what their issues are and try and put action plans together to try and move them on back into the workplace. The advice that people will get is around training, job search, and to keep contact with that personal advisor to make sure that they don't miss out on some of the things that they could be able to do.
Some say the Job Centre aren't pulling their weight,
They could have been a little bit more channeling, maybe. A bit more strict, a bit stricter.
whereas others would say that the job seekers aren't.
Really, it's good and bad, isn't it? I think job seeker allowance is necessary for those genuinely looking for a job, but also I think it makes people lazy, some people.
And there's so many jobs in Northampton and people say there aren't, but there's loads and people are just going there because they just don't want to work.
And as a summary, what type of training schemes are available?
People who are unemployed are eligible to go vocational college courses that lead to jobs. The personal advisor will be able to talk to them about the kind of course that they want, how realistic it is to get a job at the end of that, and they've got access to all of those college courses. So in this area, for example, we've got good links with people like Northampton College, plus the things that we can offer people in terms of trying to get them back to work under the Get Britain Working measures, and that includes things like arranging work experience with employers, putting them in touch with work clubs that can help them with their job hunting techniques. If somebody's interested in self-employment, we can help them and put them in touch with an enterprise club, etc., etc. Can do. And certainly employers are interested in motivated people for apprenticeships. We can arrange for people to get experience of jobs by arranging work experience periods with an employer. We've got those kind of relationships with a number of employers. But equally, I don't think anybody is without skills completely. In fact, they're actually more interested in those kind of things than they are about whether they've got a technical ability to do a particular job.
How did it feel to be claiming?
Miserable, because you want a job, you want to work, you want to support your family, you don't want to claim from the government.
They treated me like they were better than me. I found that they had that attitude where what am I doing claiming? And to be totally honest, when I was working, I was probably making more money than what they did,
Do you think that was down to your own self-esteem, or do you think that was them?
Look at my job, my self-esteem is pretty high. I think that these need to be trained properly and know how to deal with everyday people. That's what it is.
And what do you do now?
Me, I'm a fundraiser, funding coach for the British Red Cross.
And do you enjoy it?
Love it.
You can understand the view of others as they're stereotyped as an uncommitted job seeker. But is it any surprise when the Job Centre are dealing with people like this?
I don't know anything about it, really.
Did you ever think that the Job Centre were helpful with you?
Not really.
Why is that?
I was doing what I could just to keep it ticking along. They could have been a little bit more channeling, maybe. A bit more strict, a bit stricter.
Yeah, the challenging part of the job is when people have more problems or more barriers to face than just purely getting a job. If their only issue is about getting a job and they're motivated, then that's I wouldn't say that's straightforward, but that's a very positive discussion. If people have got other issues and problems, for example, if they've been subjected to any kind of abuse, or if they're an ex-offender, or if they have drugs or alcohol problems or housing problems, then we have to look at those issues in the round and deal with all of that. Otherwise, getting a job doesn't really move them on, in totality.
Full-time students can't claim the benefit, but what happens when someone's directed towards education? Does that affect their claim?
They carry on claiming the benefits. That's okay. But of course, the key thing is to keep in contact with the advisor, because if that's sort of a bona fide way back into work, then that's okay. I think the area where it becomes difficult is if somebody wants to do something that isn't vocational, then of course they wouldn't be able to claim their benefit. If it's about getting a job and it's a legitimate step back into work, then they will be able to do the training course.
And what regular duties are expected from a job seeker?
There's a kind of minimum expectation, because people are claiming benefit in so much as we expect them to be actively looking for work. All the job opportunities that they want may not be there. To be flexible in the short term, to make looking for a job in itself. So you actually get up every morning and you sort out how many applications you're going to make that day, and you actually stick to that.
The system has been spoiled a long time ago by tolerating so much people to suck from the taxpayers' money.
But of course, if people aren't looking for work, then the discussion is a little bit different with them, because it's about, well, you're claiming benefit, and you really do need to be active in the labour market to be able to do that. But hopefully we can keep most of the conversations very positive and be giving people good advice on where to go.
There are changes which take a long time to be in effect, but I think they are trying.
And Northampton County Council are helping support job seekers by offering their libraries with free internet access on a Friday.